role we'll have, and them coming to Parliament. It's a talk of the support for the judiciary, investing in enablers of the economy, particularly infrastructure, and increased agricultural productivity, support for small traders, the youth, the mamamboga, the kinyozi, the makanga. All was in that speech. Credit provision, the Hustler Fund, better housing, universal health care through NHIF, better debt management, and say how we reduce our borrowing, proposing that we reduce the current budget by 300 billion shillings, better tax management, improving our social security, support for national government constituency development fund, and the Senate oversight. So, Speaker, all was there. And as I said, lacking in details and strategy. And it is our hope that that will come when policies come before us in the House, because that's how it's be. But, Mr. Speaker, there was a striking lack of mention on two things that, in my view, are most critical in this country, Mr. Speaker. One is unity of this country. It was mentioned here and there. I didn't see the emphasis. Mr. Speaker, unity is the key to harmony and development, especially after an election that was bitterly fought, narrow margin, contested. We didn't agree with it, but it went to court, and the court made a ruling, which in my view, Mr. Speaker, was a little flawed. Flawed because of the language. Mr. Speaker, it was enough to say that the evidence before us does not warrant negating the election. It wasn't necessary to go on words like wild goose chase, red herring, hot air. That, in my mind, flawed that decision. Despite that, we have accepted it. And Mr. Speaker, there is need for healing. And in paragraph 12, the President's speech again kind of didn't bring people together, referring to the role of the Deputy President becoming the opposition leader and vice versa. I don't think, Mr. Speaker, that is necessary at this point. And even in paragraph 10, reference to personality cults, I don't think those are necessary at this point in time. We need, Mr. Speaker, to create a nation. Mr. Speaker, we have a country called Kenya whose boundaries were defined by the colonialists, and we accepted it. We have a state defined by the Constitution, the statutes, and all the MDAs, the ministries, the departments, the parastatals, the agencies. But, Mr. Speaker, we don't have a nation called Kenya on this earth. Mr. Speaker, why do I say that? Because, Mr. Speaker, a nation resides in the hearts of people, and people believe this is ours, we all love it. We live it in together. We cry for it. We die for it. Mr. Speaker, this is something that in this country for the 60 years of independence, we have not fought for. Mr. Speaker, we have fought for control of the instruments of government and the instruments of power for the distribution of resources. We have never strived to create a nation. Mr. Speaker, I'll tell you, in this country called Kenya, if you stand in any of the streets in any of the towns and cities and say, Luos are this and that, Luos are stupid, this and that, or You say Kikuyus are bad in this way and that way, you insult them. Or you say the Kambas and this. Somebody will come and attack you because they feel that they've been attacked. But Mr. Speaker, I'll tell you this. If you go in the streets and say, Kenyans are stupid, Kenyans are thieves, Kenyans are this, nobody will attack you because nobody feels they have been insulted. Nobody feels that they belong to something called Kenya as a nation. That is why, Mr. Speaker, even we, very informed people, talk of the Luo nation, the Luhya nation, the Kisii nation. Mr. Speaker, this is a 1,000-mile journey that in this country we have not even made the first step. I thought the Azimio Kenya Moja, One Kenya Alliance, that in my mind is what we are thinking about. Even One Kenya Kwanza, again we all have it, but do we practice it? To me, Mr. Speaker, this is the bigger game that this country must start fighting for. Mr. Speaker, the other one is corruption. I didn't get much on corruption except in paragraph 19 when it came in the support for the judiciary. But otherwise I didn't. But this is the cancer that will eat, prevent any promises, dismantle any process that we will make to improve the welfare of our people. Any effort, if we don't address corruption, this document, this speech, seemed afraid to tackle that evil. And Mr. Speaker, we must look at this even in the appointments that are coming, and this House will be vetting people. I do not believe in the principle that we want to be guided by innocent until proved guilty. I think we should be guided by chapter 6 on integrity and morality, where we should say, stand until proved innocent, and therefore not fit to hold a public position. In my mind, Mr. Speaker, that is the direction we should go. Those two big principles should be the guiding.
Thank you, the Honorable Murugara.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, allow me